TV, promotion, population, promoting our culture, promoting our tradition.
Dr. Rowley James Doyle, Permanent Secretaries here present, Head of Public and Government Institutions here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the media, we welcome you all here today, and a warm welcome for that matter and good morning to the official opening ceremony of the 32nd INTERMODAL Africa 2024 Conference and Exhibition here in the smiling coast of Africa, the Gambia. Dr. Royce and your team, we welcome you to the smiling coast. I've seen you smile all along.
I'll do my best to keep it.
It's because you're in the smiling coast.
Keep it up.
You're welcome. So without further ado, Honorable, can we just allow to rise for the national anthem? Thank you. You may take your seat. So at this point, I'll also invite my co-host, Bintu KB Jane. But before that, I am Jibu Msedi, the Communications Officer of the Gambia Ports Authority, and I'll be here throughout to host the official opening ceremony for you on the soils of the Gambia, the Smiling Coast. We're so happy and proud to host the 32nd edition of the Intermodal Africa Conference, and I'm here with Bintu KB Jane. Bintu?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Bintu K. Jane, the Communications Assistant of Gambia Ports Authority, and I am the co-host for today's event. Thank you.
All right, Bintu, we can now run through the program guide a little bit for the official opening ceremony and also take you through the activity plan for the 27th, that is today, and that of the 28th tomorrow. So we would have an official welcoming remark by the Managing Director of Gambia Ports Authority, because we are hosting, of course, so we would, of course, obviously want the MD, Usman Jabate, to do the welcoming remark. This will be followed by a remark made by the organizers, which is going to be done by Dr. James, who is the Managing Director of Transport Events. This will be followed by a keynote address by the Ambassador Honorable Serin Modunjai, who is sitting in for the Minister of Works. Of course, this will be followed by a grand opening address by the Vice President, His Excellency Mr. Mohammed B.S. Jallo. And from there, we would go to the exhibition ceremony and tour of exhibition by VIP. That will be followed by delegates to tour all the stores and stands which are located in this year's 32nd edition. So Bintu, you would want to also acknowledge a few of our guests?
Yes, we would also like to acknowledge the presence of Her Excellency, the British High Commissioner, His Excellency, the Ambassador from the Republic of Turkey, His Excellency, the Ambassador of the People Republic of China, His Excellency, High Commissioner of Senegal, the Deputy Managing Director of Albarak, Mr. Salih Levant, the Deputy Managing Director, Lamin Sanyang of National Food Security Corporation, also the former Managing Director of Gambia Ports Authority. We also would like to acknowledge the President of the World Bank representatives, Mr. Yoro Jallo, and also the Commissioner General of Gambia Revenue Authority, Mr. Yankuba Dabo, the General Manager of Gambia Ferry Services, Mr. Abdullahi Tambedu, all dignitaries respectfully observed. Thank you and welcome.
Vice President of the Republic, Honorable Sering Modunjai, the Minister of Defense, Mr. Rory Doyle of Transport Events, Excellencies, Ambassadors here present, the Commissioner General, Gambia Revenue Authority, members of the public institutions, private corporations, and all other dignitaries here present. It is my honor to welcome you today to the 32nd edition of the Intermodal Africa International Conference and Exhibition in the smiling coast of the Gambia. I would have said that the protocol has also taken me off guard because I was not prepared to make any speech, but at least you've shown a 1-minute video which has carried the message that I needed to tell you. But on a lighter note, the story about ports, I think it doesn't need to be explained to anybody, because the importance of ports in the socio-economic activities of any country cannot be overemphasized. Ports are catalysts in socio-economic development because the amount of activity that goes in countries in international trade, almost 80% of it all passes through ports. So the importance of ports being very efficient, being very productive, and to overall reduce the cost of doing business is the main issue why ports remain relevant in our countries, particularly in Africa. We are happy to be the host of this international event where the industry players will network and find solutions to our common problems. Because our population out there, all they yearn for is to improve their livelihoods. And the ports play a very important role in that. What is also peculiar about this event is that when the organizers chose Gambia, Mr. Doyle was a little bit hesitant that how can such a big event be organized in small Gambia. We told him, welcome. We pride ourselves in being the smiling coast, as Jibo has rightly mentioned, where business can be mixed with leisure. So I invite you all, apart from networking and finding solutions to our maritime issues, to also visit the Gambia more often, because we need your euros, your dollars to come and spend in our economy to help us grow. Thank you for your attention.
His Excellency Mohammed B.S. Jallow, who is the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, the Honourable Serene Wujunji, who is the Minister of Defence, sitting in for the Honourable Minister of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Mr. Osman Jobote, who is the Managing Director of Gambia Ports Authority, all permanent secretaries, dignitaries, heads of government institutions, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press and media, good morning and welcome. Welcome, as mentioned earlier by the MC, to the 32nd Intermodal Africa, here in the smiling coast of Africa, also known as the Gambia, here at the Caraba Hotel in Banjul. I would like to take the opportunity to thank Gambia Ports Authority for hosting this event. Yesterday we had the port tour, and we had a great opportunity to see what's happening in the port and the remarkable transition opportunity and plans that are coming up with Al Bayrak and Sally. You're here today, and also we thanked Jam yesterday for his time in showing us the port. So there seems to be a great opportunity for efficiency, further investment, job creation, and of course revenue generation and tax commissioner as well. So that's all very good news. I'm very happy to say that we have 30 international conference speakers, we have 20 exhibitors, and a total of 170 delegates from 23 different countries. Looking ahead in 6 years' time, MD, we're looking forward to Intermodal Africa coming back for what should be the 38th Intermodal Africa, we hope, in 6 years' time, when you'll have your new beautiful Sanyang deep sea port up and running. Again, more revenue opportunity, more investment, and Commissioner, more tax. So I think that's good for the country. So on that happy note, I'm going to pass back and thank you all very much indeed for being here. Please visit the exhibition. It's all about networking. Face-to-face communications is what we do best as human beings. So please all visit all the exhibition stands. If you try to visit each company individually, it would probably take you about 3 months. But here you can do it in 2 days. So please do as much networking as you can, collect as many business cards as you can, and I'm sure your bosses are going to say, how many did you convert into contracts? So on that happy note, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much, and I hope you're welcome since you came. Ambassador Honorable Selim Odinjai to officially do a keynote address.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency Mohammed B.S. Jallow, the Managing Director of the Gambia Ports Authority, the Chairman, Dr. Roy James, CEO, Transport Events, Excellencies, Ambassadors, and Heads of Diplomatic Corps, Excellencies, Director General, Gambia Revenue Authorities, eminent conference speakers and exhibitors, the Chairman and Board of Directors, Management of GPA, members of the press, esteemed members of the media fraternity, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols respectfully and duly observed. It gives me singular honor and privilege to be able to address you in this important 3-day event, which marks the hosting of the 32nd Intermodal Africa Exhibition and Conference, being held in our beloved country, the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa, a home away from your homes. On behalf of the Honorable Minister of Transport Works and Infrastructure, who is currently away on official mission, it is my distinct honor to extend warm greetings and thanks to each of you for making the time to participate in such an important interactive discussions and event. I now read the statement of the Honorable Minister. Being the Minister responsible for maritime affairs, I am convinced that the conference and exhibition will focus on issues of common concern to African ports as experts dilate on topical issues that will enhance sustainable operations and management of ports as they continue to serve as engines of economic growth. The discussions and recommendations that will ensue from these deliberations are even more relevant given the current realities in the world economy, such as shift in the trading patterns, development in e-commerce, mergers and acquisitions among global shipping lines, and private sector participation in the provision of port services, to name a few. Excellencies, distinguished participants, the importance of maritime transport and logistics service providers in global trade cannot be overemphasized, noting that 80% of all exchanges in world trade, both in terms of volume and value, are carried by sea. According to experts, world seaborne trade is expected to grow by 4% over the coming years. This situation gives a positive outlook where volumes across all segments are expected to grow, the fastest growth expected in the containerized and dry bulk commodities. Notwithstanding these prospects, sudden game changers such as digitalization, the impact of the Belt and Road Initiative by the People's Republic of China, and the increasing use of containerization need to be leveraged effectively in order to maximize gain in global seaborne trade. At the regional level, the construction of a 6-lane road network linking Lagos to Dakar, called the Trans-African Highway number 7, present an opportunity to complement maritime transport within West Africa, which has a population of more than 450 million and an annual trade volume in excess of $344 billion, according to the ECOWAS Trade Observatory 2024. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it may be prudent at this stage to call upon the experts to share experience and best practices to address common issues confronting African ports, with particular emphasis on dredging to attract deeper draft vessels, construction of ship reception facilities, and logistic platforms in order to enhance port productivity. This is important against the background that our ports are gateways to merchandise trade with strong growth potential, and the African continent is the second fastest growing region after Asia, according to the African Development Bank Macroeconomic Report 2024. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Works, Transport and Infrastructure has been reliably informed that this Intermodal Africa Conference and Exhibition will feature world-class conference speakers addressing topical issues in maritime transport and logistics. The exhibition will provide commercial opportunities for exhibitors and sponsors to network directly with delegates at this major annual event, International Maritime Transport event for Africa. During the course of the next few days, experts are expected to come up with sustainable solutions that will address ports productivity to the benefit of our citizens, contributes to employment creation and poverty reduction. Your Excellency, kindly allow me to take this opportunity on behalf of the Ministry of Works, Transport and Infrastructure, the Board of Directors, Management and staff of the GPA, and our valued customers to express sincere gratitude and appreciation to the Transport Event Limited for the choice of the Gambia to host the 32nd Intermodal Africa. We also take great pleasure to express appreciation to each one of you for your active participation and valuable contribution during the event. In closing, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the conference and exhibition set against the stage of the Gambia's Smiling Coast will be a memorable event for those attending to network on issues within the maritime ecosystem and discover the lost tourism attraction that makes the Gambia a destination of choice for business and leisure. On this note, Your Excellency, I thank you all for your kind attention and wish you a successful event. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Defense, sitting here on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Your Excellencies, High Commissioners, Ambassadors, and members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps here present, the heads of public and private institutions here present, the CEO of Transport Events, and other distinguished delegates here present, distinguished invitees, the press, senior government officials, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of His Excellency the President Adama Barrow, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, it is my pleasure to welcome all distinguished participants and expert speakers to this significant event, that is the 32nd Intermodal Africa Exhibition and Conference, hosted here in the Gambia, the Smiling Coast of Africa. I am reliably informed that this conference is the largest international gathering of maritime transport service providers and logistics experts. This year's event, organized by the Gambia Port Authority in collaboration with Transport Events International, stands as a testament to the importance of collaboration in addressing global maritime challenges and opportunities. The Intermodal Africa Exhibition and Conference provides an invaluable platform to analyze Africa's growth potential in line with Goal 6 of Africa Agenda 2063, that is promoting trade and transport as a means of unlocking the immense opportunities for the continent in global commerce. There is no doubt that ports and logistics services are crucial drivers of international trade, accounting for over 80% of global trade movements, as we have been informed earlier. The performance of these services significantly impacts the cost efficiency of the entire value chain. However, global maritime transport continues to face unprecedented changes and challenges that demand innovation, adaptability, and efficiency from ports and logistics service providers. Key challenges include slowdown in production capacity in major markets such as China and the US, access to capital for infrastructure development, population growth coupled with the need for environmental sustainability and climate resilience, digitalization and the increasing role of information technology in reshaping global trade dynamics. According to the On-Track Review of Maritime Transport 2023, international maritime shipments have reached more than 12 billion tons, and the projections are that world maritime trade will grow by 4.3% for the next 4 to 5 years. Out of these global trade volumes, Africa accounts for about 9% and is expected to grow in the coming years. One aspect that has affected global maritime trade is the surge in freight rates, which increased global import price levels by 11% and consumer price level by 1.5%. This has resulted in increased consumer prices for basic commodities, further aggravated by the volatility in the price of Brent crude oil per barrel, which increased by more than 45% in the last few years following the COVID-19 pandemic. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Gambia, like many developing countries, continue to rely on trade and logistics as major catalysts for socio-economic development. Therefore, it is my fervent expectation that the lineup of erudite conference speakers and exhibitors at this gathering will come up with meaningful insights that will ensure that ports will continue to remain relevant within the competitive maritime, trade and logistics ecosystem. I would therefore encourage all experts here today to renew their efforts and commitment to developing pertinent resolutions that will guide progress and resilience in maritime transport, trade and logistics in Africa. I want to thank you all for your kind attention. I wish you all fruitful deliberation and meaningful networking. It is therefore my singular honor and privilege to declare the 32nd Intermodal Africa Exhibition and Conference officially open. I thank you.
Ku yoddu sa xat te quality jas na ñoo yor seen cumbukaay tur day uyu borom jas na pire soo ko bëggee fii si biir Gambia bi dawal foofu sa quality jas na your number one stop shop. Ana sama jigéen ñi dama bëgg ngeen jox ma seen nopp garme yi ndaxte quality jas na amal nañ leen ay til yu toj daala poos abaya yu yiiw waaye it amal nañ leen ay boreda yu rafet boreda yoo xam ne pour góor ñi la ak pour jigéen ñi amal nañ leen body scrub yi nga xam ne nii dafay defar seen yaram bam nice waaye it fàttewuñ fa diw yi. Ana sama jeeg yu pare yi quality jas na amal nañ leen fa andi cuuraay yu neex house spray ak bépp xeetu baax pour seen biir néeg. Dama ne atum ren ji ku sa jëkkër mere ku ne yow la neex ndaxte quality jas na ñëw na si dëkk bi pour defar sëy yi. Makeup artist yi bàyyi leen gannaaw ñu ngi leen fa amal ay makeup product yu quality metti waxu leen léegi nii foofa sa Westfield jàkkaarloog monument bi wala nga jokkoo Quality Jasna si 250 01 24 ak Quality Jasna taaral sa bopp taaral sa néeg waaye it dëggal sa alaaji aas